Today we're venturing back to the year 2000, which somehow only feels like it was a few years ago, but it was 24 years ago. It's gross. Time is a very weird construct. So let me set the scene for you. The year is 2000. You just got back from Blockbuster after begging your mom to take you. You needed to get the movie American Pie on VHS. Your mom thinks it's about an American family who loves pie, so you get away with it. You get home to see that your siblings stole your Game Boy again, and you know what? You decide that you're gonna get back at them by stealing their Tamagotchi. After you finally finish watching the videotape that your dad recorded of Hey Arnold, you decide it's finally time to watch the greatest hitter of the new millennia play baseball. No, not Barry Bonds, not Alex Rodriguez, not even Derek Jeter. I'm talking about Darin Erstad, obviously. You already knew that because that's what the title of the video is. Something Darin Erstad. It's true. Darin Erstad really decided that he was going to be a changed man. He said, look, Y2K didn't take me out. I have another opportunity at life, aka another opportunity in Major League Baseball. Let me just completely go off. And you know what? Erstad had one of the best and most historic seasons in Major League Baseball history. And somehow people just don't know. People just forget. You might know that he had a lot of hits in the year 2000, but look, it's deeper than that, okay? It's a chasm, a black hole of historic stats that I am going to share with you today. We're going to be talking about Darin Erstad in the year 2000. If you like today's video, feel free to leave a like on it, only if you liked it though, and let me know down below if there are any other players that you want me to do deep dives on. Today's video is sponsored by Baseballism. I can't believe that those words are coming out of my mouth still. They're an incredible apparel company that makes a ton of baseball apparel. I love them so much. You can use the code SWILLY15 on your next order to get 15% off. I'm wearing this necklace that I'm obsessed with. It's a baseball bat. It's sterling silver. They make hats, they make shirts, they make sweatshirts, they make everything that you could ever want if you are a baseball fan. You can use the code SWILLY15 on your next order to get 15% off. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, and you get a little bit of money off of your next order. So it's a win-win for everybody. Without further ado, let's jump right in.
Okay, good, but I have to ask you, what's your favorite thing about Mr. Paul Skeens? His mustache and Livy Dunn.
In honor of us doing a Darin Erstad video, I'm also wearing my Darin Erstad shirt. Look at how handsome he is in his Anaheim Angels uniform. I miss those unis. Good times. Good times. Darin Erstad was first drafted in 1992 in the 13th round by the New York Mets. Darin Erstad decided he wanted to take his talents to South Nebraska, where he went and played at the University of Nebraska. I don't think Lincoln is in southern Nebraska. I feel like maybe if you draw a line, it's in the southern portion, but not by much. When I say he took his talents, I'm talking baseball and football, baby. That's right. Move over, Bo Jackson. Darin Erstad is in town and is the starting punter for the 1994 national champion Huskers. He was a dual athlete, baby. As a Husker for 3 seasons, Darin Erstad racked up a .356 batting average, 261 hits, which is 4th highest in school history, behind guys who all played 4 seasons, 446 total bases, 41 home runs, and 188 runs scored. Oh, and 182 RBIs. He's all over the top 10 in school history. It's actually pretty insane. Erstad heading to college proved to be probably the best choice that he could ever make, as he ended up being the first overall pick in 1995 by the California Angels. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? This is how I feel when I get to say California Angels. Even when I get to say Anaheim Angels, it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Erstad played a total of 114 minor league baseball games, including 85 games in AAA for the Vancouver Canadians. He batted .305 with a .385 on base percentage and a .447 slug, which equated to an .832 OPS. Now, 2 incredible things happened on June 14th, 1996. Darin Erstad made his major league debut, and I celebrated my first birthday. You don't have to do the math on that. It's fine. Comment down below which historic event you think is more important. If you don't pick the right answer, you don't know ball. Take that how you will. In Erstad's rookie season, he set a new Angels record for the longest on-base percentage to start a career at 15 games. This record was eventually broken this season, actually, by Nolan Schanuel, who had a 30-game on-base streak. Should have been higher than that, but that's a different story for a different time. Erstad played 57 games in his rookie season. He slashed .284 with a .333 on base percentage and a .375 slug, which was good for a .708 OPS. He also only had a 12.7 strikeout rate, and he came in 6th place in Rookie of the Year voting after just 57 games. Not bad for a rookie outfielder, in my opinion at least. From 1997 to 1998, Darin Erstad put up some pretty solid numbers. I mean, he was just a kid at this point. I'll take a 100 OPS plus out of a young kid. He batted .282 with a .340 on base percentage and a .440 slug, which equated to a .780 OPS. Now, despite being quite the outfielder, in 1997, he camped out at first base. So he got drafted as an outfielder, and you might be wondering why. Why would he start at first base? Well, when you have an outfield of Garrett Anderson, Jim Edmonds, and Tim Salmon, you camp out at first base. And don't know what to tell you. From 1998 to 1999, he was a true Swiss Army knife, literally starting half of his games at first and half of his games in the outfield. His .296, .353, .486 slash line in 1998 gave him his very first All-Star nod, as well as some MVP votes. You go, Ersty. Like, we're starting off great, okay? I would be stoked. I wasn't really aware of what baseball was at this point in my life. I was still a baby, but I would be stoked. Not only was Ersty a decent hitter at this point in his career, but he played stellar defense, okay? The dude was insane. In 1997, he made 11 errors, which, whatever. It's his first full year. But in 1998, he only made 3 errors, 2 of which were at first base and 1 was in left field. In 1999, he made 1 error at first base. And that's it. Ersty unfortunately did not get a Gold Glove in 1999 because, well, Ken Griffey Jr., Bernie Williams, and Rafael Palmeiro all won Gold Gloves. I mean, I get it, okay? Sort of. I don't really get Gold Gloves, but in the context of what a Gold Glove is and how somebody wins one, I understand.
I don't even have any words right now. I'm at a loss, and I'm trying to keep my job, so I'm not going to say anything.
Now, for the reason you're all here, for me to tell you how incredible Darin Erstad's millennial season was. The man went on an absolute tear, and it was better than you remember. Before we dive into his 2000 season, I do want to say one thing. Something steroid era. Something absolutely bonkers insane year. Look, Darin Erstad battled a lot of injuries, especially in the latter parts of his career. In my heart of hearts, I really do believe that his 2000 season was more of a what could have been than a possible year of him, you know. However, who really knows? Certainly not me. I'm just a girl. Turns out that you can watch somebody in the spotlight of a sport and you think that you know him, but you don't. So I'm just saying. Now, with that out of the way, buckle up. There's a lot to unpack. We will start with the beginning, as most stories do. Darin Erstad hit safely in 14 out of his first 15 games in the year 2000, and he hit safely in 23 of his first 25 games of the 2000 season. He had the best start by an MLB player season through 25 games in the wild card era based off of batting average and on-base percentage, going .449, .512 with a .607 slug, which equates to an 1120 OPS. Darin Erstad was a leadoff hitter by this point, but still, best start based on batting average. We were 25 games into the season, and he literally was getting a base hit almost half the time. He was getting on base more than half the time. Bonkers. By the end of April, Ersty had 16 multi-hit games. 16. 1-6. Based on batting average, Ersty had the second best March-April in baseball dating back to the expansion era with a minimum of 100 plate appearances. Now, this is only behind Larry Walker, who started off his MVP year batting .456, .538 with a .911 slug. Yeah, .911 slug. not OPS. He had 48 hits in the month of April, which is the second amongst all Major League Baseball players, only behind Dante Bichette's 51. Not only was he just hitting constantly, but the man couldn't strike out. He refused. He struck out 9 times. 9! Insane. On June 25th, Erstad became just the third player ever in Major League Baseball history at that point to hit a leadoff home run and a walk-off home run in the same game. He hit a bomb to center field to lead off the game and a solo shot to right in the bottom of the 11th to beat the Minnesota Twins 7-6. Sorry if you're a Twins fan. I would much rather be in your position at this point than the position that I'm in, to be fair. Darin Erstad reached the 100 hit mark in game 61 of the Angels season. 61. He reached 100 hits. I'm not misspeaking. That's real. He was the fastest to reach 100 since Henry Heine Manouche did in the 1934 season for the Washington Senators. He did it in 60 games. You know Heine, Hall of Famer, one-time All-Star, one-time batting champ, MLB coach for the Boston Braves and Washington Senators. He had 241 hits in 1928, so the dude was actually kind of a stud. But if your nickname is Heine, I feel like you have no choice but to be a good baseball player. If that's your nickname, you better not suck, right? He also beat out Babe Ruth for the batting title in 1928 on the last day of the season. He had a 6-hit day and a doubleheader, and he beat out Babe Ruth. So listen, I respect it. Now, Erstad ended his 2000 campaign with an 8.4 B-WAR. And this is tied for the 11th highest ever by an outfielder that hit 25 home runs or less. Erstad hit 100 RBIs this year. You remember how I mentioned earlier that he was a leadoff hitter? Yeah, 100 RBIs on the dot in the leadoff spot. He was the first in Major League Baseball history to ever accomplish such a feat. Eventually, Chuck Nasty hit that in 2017, I think. It's an incredible feat. Darin Erstad had 77 multi-hit games. 77. So almost half of his games, he hit at least 2 base hits in. His 77 multi-hit games in one season is the third highest amongst all players since the integration era, only behind Ichiro's 80 and Don Mattingly's 78. 77 multi-hit games. Erstad ended up finishing his 2000 season with 240 hits. Not 204. 240. His 240 hit season is tied for the third most in a season dating back to the expansion era, only behind Ichiro's 262 and 242 seasons. You may have heard of Ichiro before, and he is tied with Wade Boggs, who you may have also heard before. This 240 hit season is tied for the 13th most since the live ball era. It leaves me speechless how good this year was for him. Oh, and don't forget, he won a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger award. I know defense isn't as fun to talk about, but I just have to give him his flowers on his defense. He had a 2.3 defensive WAR that year, which was tied for the 5th highest that year with Angel legend Brad Ausmus. It's funny, the connections that you find when you're on Baseball Reference. A few super quick stats from his 2000 season. Darin Erstad finished the year with 747 plate appearances and 676 at-bats, which were both the highest in the league. He had 240 base hits, scored 121 runs, and had 100 RBIs. He ended the year batting .355 with a .409 on base percentage, a .541 slug, and a .951 OPS. He had a 137 OPS plus. He hit 25 home runs, 39 doubles, stole 28 bases, 366 total bases. He only grounded into 8 double plays. He was walked intentionally 9 times, which I think is crazy for somebody that didn't hit like a crazy amount of home runs, and casually had an 11% strikeout rate. Now, even though I am here to talk to you about his 2000 season, look, his 2002 season, when the Angels won the World Series, he did hit some really fun milestones that I just want to highlight super quick.
4 2/3. Let's see that last fly ball that got the applause. Oh, and then he chugs one. That's what they really applauded.
Erstad's 2002 regular season wasn't really anything to write home about until the Angels ended up making the postseason following a 6 12-14 start to the season. You guys know how it went. They were having an incredible season next to the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's had this crazy 20-game win streak, so we weren't able to gain any ground. We ended up making the postseason with a wild card berth, even though we won 99 games. Absolutely insane run. Ersty ended the year batting .283 with a .313 on base percentage and a .389 slug, .702 OPS, 23 stolen bases, 10 home runs, 28 doubles. Again, not anything crazy to write home about. However, his defense absolutely shined. He led the league in D-WAR with 4.2. 4.2? That is tied for the 6th highest ever. Ersty's glove did not rest at any point in time. Darin hit .421 in the ALDS, .364 in the ALCS, and .300 in the World Series with a key home run in Game 6 to inch the Halos closer to that 6-5 comeback victory. Ersty's 25 postseason hits is tied for the 3rd most by a player in MLB history with at least 75 plate appearances. You know who he's tied with? Jose Altuve. Ersty also made the final out in the 2002 World Series, bringing the trophy to Anaheim for the Singing Cowboy for the first time in franchise history. Sorry. I literally get goosebumps. Do you see it? You don't see them. You're just gonna have to take my word for it.
Runner at first is also out. The play is under further review. Ruling on the field is confirmed. There's forced play slide interference at second base.
Heller just got thrown.
Ersty ended up moving to first base full-time from the outfield in 2004 before it was cool, okay? Before Bryce Harper did it, he took all the credit. How could you forget about Darin Erstad doing that back in 2004? He became the only player in Major League Baseball history to win a Gold Glove as an infielder and an outfielder. So that's pretty neat. Erstad played in at least 130 games 6 years straight after making his debut in 1996, but he only reached 130 games 3 out of the next 7 years from 2003 to 2009. He didn't crack 100 for 3 of those years due to multiple nagging injuries. And this is why I really do feel like that 2000 season was more of a glimpse of what his ceiling was than him potentially participating in other alleged activities. Erstad stayed with the Angels until 2006, then went on to the White Sox for a year and played 87 games. He slashed .248 with a .310 on base percentage and a .355 slug. He then went to Houston for a couple of years before finally finishing his major league career in 2009 at the age of 35. In 247 games with the Astros, he hit .252 with a .297 on base percentage and a .353 slug. Although Ersty never totally got back to that 2000 year, he was still an incredibly talented player that really rose to the occasion whenever he needed to. Darin eventually went on to coach at his alma mater in the year 2012 and stepped down after the 2019 season. He finished his coaching career with a .267, 193, and 1 record, so not too bad. Not too bad. He also has been mentioned in a few head coaching positions in the Major League Baseball level. Still, nobody has hired him yet. I don't see why at some point he won't get a shot, but that's maybe a little off topic and a discussion for another time. That's it. That's the story of Darin Erstad and his incredible, sometimes forgotten 2000 season. Hopefully you learned something from this video and you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please subscribe if you're into baseball content like this so you don't miss any more from me. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and remember to not let sports affect your mental health. I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon.